Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
There we go. Oh, there it is.
There it is. I believe it. Believe it or not, it's just Matinee Edition.
With Lucas and Jared here this afternoon.
It's a glorious afternoon down here in Olympia.
Olympia
chopper overhead, but
we should really commit to like the late night show kind of like intro, get like the band going, and except like this matinee, Jared and Lucas.
We just have to. All we have to do is hire a third party announcer.
There you go.
Solely for that, and after that announcement, every episode has to be live. Every episode.
Yeah.
Then they leave. I just wish we had money to do this kind of shit. Dude. That's why I keep looking
Oatly.
For that Oatly sponsorship that we're going after.
There it is. We'll get him one day.
Somebody asked me the other day, has Oatly ever sponsored a podcast? And I was like, probably not, but fuck it, we'll be the first.
No, we'll get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. They sponsor fucking everyone on YouTube.
I'm down. Hey, if you're a sponsor out there listening to this podcast, I'm down to be yours. You just gotta reach out and let us know that you want the space, you know.
Dude, we'll take a Workspace sponsorship. We're coffee people, so Oatly is the target.
Oatly's the target. I don't know.
We won't complain.
I just want it for free. That's
because it's so expensive.
It's so expensive but delicious. It's like oil. But not delicious, I guess. Oil,
except they were giving oil away for free earlier in the year, so you know.
Oh shit! Never
mind.
Paying
you to get a barrel.
That's dated. I'm still living in like 2004, apparently.
There you go. So yeah, this is the podcast.
Anyway, welcome. Maybe, episode 52. This is the new 52. This
maybe I'll have to get maybe I'll have to produce a whole like intro segment for us akin to like the Colbert Show or one of the late night shows.
Dude, that'd be
incorporate the bass line.
Oh man. Speaking of bass lines, I've been working on a bass line. I was like we have this janky old bass around and I was trying to tune it up and I snapped one of the E string. And so I have 3 strings because I haven't been able to find a place open that I can go buy fucking bass strings at.
Dude, shout out to that tiny little guitar shop in downtown Olympia. They're still open to my knowledge.
Not today they weren't, at least.
Fuck.
But you know, even bigger shout outs to Music 6000 up in Lacey. They were closed and I hope they're not closed forever. Like they look dead as fuck. Like their lights were down, their gates were up, like that shit was. I was like, yikes.
It's a Monday. We're recording this Monday, October 26th.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're closed on Mondays.
Well,
that said, I don't live in Olympia. So,
hopefully that's it. But I need some bass strings either way. Anyway, so I've been working on this bass line and with 3 strings. And, you know, eventually I got to figure out a way to record it. I was just thinking about this before we were recording. So,
Dude, Janky Old Bass. That's your next band name.
Janky Old Bass. Actually, that was my nickname in high school.
Oh, God.
Anyway, yeah, so... this, like I said, this is episode 52.
So when we knock out the quick news first, we got the Suicide Squad poster.
Oh yeah. That they're on the cover of Empire.
That's
Empire magazine, and it just it was just a really popping image. Like that's one of the things I think James Gunn has always been good with is like he uses color to his advantage, and I think when working with the costume designers, they've really like hit some like awesome notes color wise.
High contrast.
Yes.
Pop.
I'm all about it. Although I saw some hater online, and they were saying like, something to the effect of like, "Are these fucking costumes for real? Like this shit sucks." And like, like I'm like, I feel like the campiness is going to work in the movie's advantage. Overall.
Here's my standing with fuckers like that. If you're commenting on an Empire magazine cover picture from Suicide Squad, and you're saying the costumes look too campy, you hate fun. And you don't want to enjoy it. There you go. You don't want to enjoy it. Like there's an internal sadness.
I agree, man.
Somebody like that.
You're just I hate on a lot of things. Dear hot dog, I'm not gonna for you listening out there, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm a bit of a hater, but like I'm not
he hates the world. Almost everything in the world.
Yeah. I want to watch it burn, but I'm not above, I am above that kind of pettiness,
Yeah, I mean, why the fuck? Like,
that's so backwards.
That's probably the same kind of dude who, like, when the first Iron Man movie came out, was like, the suit doesn't look right.
Well, fair, man.
It's too modern.
My God, I guess I remember, like, I've definitely criticized a lot, obviously, but like, you have to keep an open mind. And the thing is, like, with all comic book properties, we've talked about this many times, like, like there's a play for originality in the movies, but there's also like a slight play to pay homage. And like, as they've gotten better in general, even DC's taken strides in the best in good directions, but mainly the MCU, like they've gotten better about like finding that blurred line of like and originality and paying,
No, dude, I totally agree, and I think it looks sweet. I'm really excited to do it. Speaking of petty, dumb hate, did you see James Gunn responded to some commenter giving him shit for having Margot Robbie in it as Harley Quinn?
No, but what?
So this commenter was like on an Instagram post, and under a picture James Gunn posted of like the cast, the commenter was probably like, Margot Robbie's such fucking garbage as Harley Quinn. He's probably only in this movie because Warner Brothers told James Gunn to. And James Gunn fucking responds to the comment saying, Margot Robbie's the best actress I've ever worked with, and Harley Quinn's one of my favorite characters. I wanted her in this movie more than anything.
Well, exactly, dude. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I'm a convert to Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. Like, it took me a little bit, but like she's really like, I feel like a lot in the same vein as Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. She's like put in time and work and has become invested in that character, and because of that, it started to become a better character itself.
Dude, and after watching Suicide Squad, the first one, just Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad, I was reaching for anything positive about that movie, so I was instantly like, yeah, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, she's great.
Yeah, I mean, anything was certainly more standing out than Will Smith's Deadshot. So, like,
or fucking lame El Diablo,
dude. Like, so, yeah. I mean, like, she was probably the only like thing that stuck out in that movie. But her solo movie that she did, though it has some like pretty big plot holes and whatnot. Like,
I haven't watched Birds of Prey yet.
It has a good pace to it, and it has some really funny moments. It has, some fucking cool, like, choreographed moments. And, again, like, what I think is interesting is that Robbie does a lot of her stunt work now herself, and so, like, you learn, like, sequences.
Wasn't she on roller skates for a lot of that movie?
Yeah, for, like, this whole, like fight sequence, which is, like, the, end of the movie, and
fuck yeah.
And anyway, so it's pretty cool, but I think she's grown into it, and I think it's helped make it better. But James Gunn breathing life into this fucking property is really what's gonna propel everything about this.
Dude,
like the fact that Robbie's become like a really awesome actress to work with in the role, is probably just a benefit,
Dude, I feel like the early, like specifically like Suicide Squad, and you can make the argument for Batman versus Superman. They are the movie tie-in video games of movies. You know?
Okay. Yeah. For sure.
Like there's something about the first Suicide Squad where like Margot Robbie was the only thing you could grab onto about it and
Yeah.
enjoy. Because it just felt like this weirdly hand-fisted, like attached to the DC movies for the sake of being attached to it with nothing to really give.
Yeah. Well, and it came out like for me, it also came out really close to the time that fucking awful Tom Cruise Mummy movie did. And they had like the exact same fucking plot. Like
Yeah,
basically it was like
exact same.
you know what I mean?
Dude, the dark universe.
I mean, maybe not. You know, it's just in very similar ways, and so it's just sort of like it just like the whole thing was just sort of like you could see how lazy everything was with it.
Hey, dude, the Dark Universe, Angelina Jolie is officially not going to be the Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh no! You know who is?
Who?
Scarlett Johansson.
No.
Yeah. I saw. I don't know in what service or what format, but I saw the news that like in this project called Bride, which is a Bride of Frankenstein property.
It's got to be separate.
She's playing like the main role.
It's got to be separate from that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the Dark Universe or anything like that.
Good.
But I thought that was interesting. I thought that was interesting.
Dead
So
on arrival.
I'm always a sucker. Like I love that kind of shit. So like, I'm always gonna check out one of those revitalizations. If it's a fucking flop, whatever. I've still watched it, and I'll laugh about it later. But
nobody was for the fucking Russell Crowe being the Nick Fury of monsters.
I just don't see Russell Crowe being popular in movies ever again. I'm going to say that right here.
Yeah, dude. There's something, yeah.
And in 5 years, Liam Neeson's gone too.
Dude, The Nice Guys, last good Russell Crowe movie.
Fair enough.
Him and Ryan Gosling, that's a good movie.
Yeah. I agree. That was a good combo. Those two.
Jeez, that movie was so weird and like quirky. It was a lot of fun to watch. I still half expect like Russell Crowe's band to the end credits song of every single movie he's in. Fucking Tofop.
Okay. Speaking of random movies that may or may not ever happen, including future Russell Crowe movies. I just read the news like earlier today that Ghostbusters Afterlife, which we talked about like months and months ago. I feel like finally like they announced something to do with it, and guess what it was? Of course,
got delayed.
It was a delay.
Woo!
Thank you to COVID and all the producers. Anyway, so the cool thing though is they got moved. I get to June 11th. To 2021, which is set on the same weekend that the original Ghostbusters happened to come out. So I guess when?
Yeah. So here's my thing with Ghostbusters. I'm like just removed enough from that fandom.
Oh yeah, dude. It's
like I'm just like I didn't grow up with it in the same way. So like I get the hype around Ghostbusters for like a nostalgic property. But it's like it's something I would never go and that tea's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's getting more potent as I go because I left the bags in.
Hey, listener, do not mix chamomile and jasmine.
Ugh. Anyway,
but it's like I'm just barely removed. Granted, I will say the new film, it looks fun and I like the cast. So
for sure.
I'll watch anything Paul Rudd's in. He's a gift.
And that's exactly what they're trying. I mean, like, if anything, they're striving desperately to try to get new fans attached to the property.
I think you can't bet on this old guard to keep your property going. Eventually it will die out. Eventually people will find something new that they enjoy more.
Yeah, well, and especially with like, visual entertainment.
Yeah,
the progression of technology to make things look better and sound better and all this shit just has made things more has made dated technology stand out more. We'll say. I love a good VHS movie, dear listener, but
it's difficult to go back at this point.
Yeah, it looks rough.
I mean, And then also with Ghostbusters, after the fucking, I am blown away that they managed to fuck up the like Melissa McCarthy Ghostbusters film in the way they did.
Well, it was. I mean, let's be real. Like the campaign against it, I think, is what
What ruined it.
what helped ruin it. Like, granted, there was like any, I think, bigger budget like attempt. There's like plot holes and like things missed. It's like the pace wasn't set all right. Some of the characters were a little off, and you didn't have time to connect with them.
I think I do think that movie had like the weird, like it shouldn't be a detracting factor that they changed the entire cast to a cast of women who are totally different characters.
No, and that's what I guess what I was alluding to is like that campaign against it, where it was just sort of like, and that happened. That was like that. I'm so glad that that's like become less of a trend at the moment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Maybe I'm just naive in saying that, but but at the time when that movie came out, it got hit really hard with that shit.
Dude,
and
I think
the thing is the cast was stacked with really funny comedic women.
Yeah.
And I think, again, one of the things I think that like didn't do the movie service was that they tried to jam all their personalities on top of each other in too quick of a way. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, they pulled the DCEU.
Exactly. And oh man.
Here's
speaking of DCEU, I got wait, hold on. What? Any final thoughts?
I do want to quickly throw something out there. It disappoints me. I am interested in the new one with Paul Rudd and Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah,
but it disappoints me that they didn't stick to their guns and keep going with the cast of Woman and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it would have at least been interesting to see them maybe like included and expanded upon.
It's not like Marvel is saying people didn't like Captain Marvel for invalid reasons, so we're not going to make another one with Brie Larson. We're going to change it to a man. That's like
that would be like the equivalent. Yeah,
that's the equivalent of it. It disappoints me that they're not sticking to it. So
agreed. But yeah, okay. So DCU. So
yeah,
a couple of things I was randomly thinking of. Ryan Reynolds is officially. Not officially. I guess I read this thing from somebody that works in Warner Brothers that was saying that they've been trying to work with Ryan Reynolds' busy schedule to fit him in to do shoots for the Snyder Cut.
So he can be Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Which I never thought I would ever say I'm excited about Ryan Reynolds being Green Lantern. But for some reason, just
for him to die right at the beginning of Justice League.
Exactly. Like, that's all I can imagine it is. It's like that one shot of like him just like, getting tanked or whatever by Darkseid. And like,
I bet he's down, but like all of it, like his agents like, dude, we don't have time for this.
Well, and that maybe is what like the tweet I think it was that quote that I was alluding to was that it was like they've been trying to do it for months, but he seems like he's always fucking busy. Like, he always seems like he's like he has something he produced or like some little video he's popping up, which looks like high production. So he's probably not at his house just doing things,
Yeah.
So he's, anyway, that'd be fucking interesting. But what else we got from the DC?
We got some MCU stuff.
Plenty of MCU stuff.
So
DCU,
quick one.
Get the fuck out of here.
Quick one. Falcon and the Winter Soldier wrapped. I'm really excited for that. I'm only going to be more excited once we see WandaVision.
Me too. I'm looking forward to, how the dynamic you always talked about of like the Winter Soldier being the kind of like that espionage sort of like grounded movie.
Yeah.
That is what I'm hoping this show will be.
I think it is.
You know what I mean?
I
contrast to like how crazy WandaVision looks.
I keep seeing, well, yeah, I think it's important to tailor to both sides. And that's one reason that's one reason I'm not sold on all the rumors about Spider-Man. Them hopping into Spider-Verse right away. I feel like Spider-Man is a relatively grounded hero at the time. It'd be crazy to throw him into this multiverse on a whim.
It would, in my opinion. It's a huge leap.
It's one of those things you have to do early on and set expectations. That's why Spider-Verse worked to me, is like if Spider-Verse happened and they hadn't set it up, it's either you don't set it up and that's just your movie and you're running with it, or you set up in previous films and you build towards it. And I don't think they build towards Spider-Verse yet.
Not
It,
really. It doesn't
it
seem.
feels like it would have to come after Multiverse of Madness for it to make sense.
Yeah.
But in the same way that like Falcon the Winter Soldier, if it's like they have to stick with it because neither like the Winter Soldier's mildly super strength, right? Falcon has wings. Like that's it. Falcon has robot wings and can fly. And he can't even like fly into space. He's just a jet essentially.
Yeah.
So these guys, they have a really cool opportunity to do like some real espionage spy shit. And I did see a rumor that it's going to be setting up the Thunderbolts, where
that would make sense.
Bucky and Baron Zemo are going to be working together.
Interesting.
So Zemo might not actually be a bad guy, which is fascinating to me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's actually one of the things I'm interested in is them expanding on Zemo's character. You know?
Dude, what we saw in the one, I remember a lot of people gave Zemo shit in Civil War. I mean, but it's like fucking Daniel Bruhl. Like that character is very charismatic, totally understandable in his motivations, and is a fucking genius. And I'm just excited to see more of him.
Agreed. But that's not the only thing that's recently wrapped. Apparently, and we haven't talked enough about this. I feel like because it's been like low key on my radar, I guess. But Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings or whatever.
It wrapped.
Yeah, so it's.
I didn't even realize it was filming.
They must have. I read that like a while. The last bit of news that I remember popping up on my radar was that they had pumped some brakes on filming in Australia. But
dude, I saw Jackie Chan's in it in an undisclosed role.
That would be cool. That's got to be a beautiful thing. Jackie Chan popping up in any movie is great. He doesn't do very many American action movies anymore, if any.
Yeah. I think there was a movie with him a few years back called like The Foreigner or something. There was an old Bond in it or something too.
Yeah, it was. It was him and Pierce Brosnan. It was actually really
Pierce Brosnan.
Cool. Like
I never watched it.
Jackie Chan was badass in that fucking movie.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like, I feel like not to say that a movie can't be like a martial arts movie can't be instantly good without like the presence of, or it is instantly good with the presence of a certain actor. And Karate Kid with fucking Smith's son is definitely an example of how Jackie Chan isn't a kingmaker.
Well, no.
But he but like it gives an air of legitimacy to they're really committing to that style of filmmaking in this.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
So I keep seeing also that's supposedly gonna bring mutants into the MCU through that movie, or just like paying respect to it and setting it up.
Yeah, well, one of the things I just recently read, I don't know if you heard this, was that they're gonna like something was published that was kind of like I think it was alluded to as like the Wakanda files, something that like Shuri might have been like doing. And,
I saw that something about Shuri supposedly trying to recreate the heart-shaped herb.
Yeah. But supposedly involved in that release of whatever. They mentioned that like Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were like they had a genetic mutation that was enabled because of like Loki's staff.
Scepter.
Like, yeah. So it wasn't like, so it was like a dormant thing until he activated it. So
I think canonically they're like Inhumans or something at this point. Well, but I wouldn't be surprised because they sort of ditch the Inhuman thing if they're just like, well, they're mutants.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Inhumans is I have no. That's what I mean though. I just have no idea how they're gonna actually introduce mutants. But it seems like if that's true, it seems like they're gonna be trying to just like jam that in some sort of like backdoor way and just kind of like say like the mutants have been here. There's gonna be this event to like make their genes probably activate or something.
Yeah, dude. I think it's gonna be like reverse House of M.
I kind of agree. I was just thinking about that. I was just like, I think we're gonna see, instead of taking powers away, there's gonna be a power unleashed.
Yeah. It's gonna be like when Doctor Strange fixes everything, and fucking at the end of Multiverse of Madness, people are gonna be springing up with weird abilities.
Yeah. yeah. So I mean, just briefly, because you mentioned Spider-Man earlier. Apparently they started like they're actually beginning filming. They've begun in New York and I believe Atlanta at the
Yeah.
that's kind of underway. I really wonder. I kind of agree with you. Some of the rumors that have been surrounding it are so bombastic that it seems like they're throwing stuff out to like deceive people. They're throwing stuff out to just like fuck with people. You don't know really what's actually happening with that movie, but it's gonna be exciting. I think either way.
Dude, I'm totally down with Spider-Man being I gotta think this through.
Well,
I'm down with like Electro being in it and Jamie Foxx still playing him. But I feel like a lot of the rumors are bullshit because as soon as people are like, "Oh, Jamie Foxx back as Electro," it's got to be the multiverse. When in reality, I don't think it's actually that. I think it's leaning more in the direction of this actor wanted to give it another shot, and he was still a good choice.
maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe.
Like maybe he had some kind of contractual obligation with Sony or something, you know?
They're like,
and they were
get
like,
back in the saddle, motherfucker.
Get back in your weird latex suit.
He doesn't want to do it. They're just they're just making him do it.
But
Dang,
like,
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not, because Jamie Foxx is great. Who doesn't like Jamie Foxx? Somebody.
Jamie Foxx is, no hate on Jamie Foxx. I'm not gonna go there. Okay, Jamie Foxx he's done some good work, including at least he's done entertaining work. Have you ever seen Miami Vice with Colin Farrell?
There you go.
Anyway, moving away from that, probably like I think this might be like the juiciest news, but maybe I'm wrong on that. We finally have a Moon Knight casting.
Potentially.
No, oh man, don't potentially this shit.
In talks.
I've heard it like okay, fine. Oscar Isaac as
officially in talks. Oscar Isaac. So most likely a casting.
How do you feel about that?
I like it. I'm down. I think Oscar Isaac was the best part of the new Star Wars films.
His character, Poe was awesome.
Poe was awesome and like brutally underused in The Force Awakens, and then I feel like the other movies he was the star power in them. I feel like his character was fun. His character was enjoyable to watch.
Which movie was it that he had like the opening shot where he was like his X-wing going at the
Last Jedi, where he was shit talking fucking
that was such an entertaining scene. Like
that was an entertaining scene. He had the best scenes in those movies that got worse as I thought about them.
Fair enough. But I feel like he'll bring, I mean, he seems to like get involved in the work he's doing. So I feel like he'd bring a pretty good
Here's my thing.
Set of chops, I guess.
Isn't Moon Knight based in like Egyptian folklore?
Yeah. So Moon Knight is technically the he's like the fucking agent of the god Khonshu.
There you go.
And it gets like recently they've been really playing with Moon Knight in comics. I haven't really kept up with like the actual full run, but I've been seeing it, and it's like he's become like a real mainstay. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're trying to lock some big kind of bigger person like Oscar Isaac's become into this role, because Moon Knight's like it's a crazy character. Like I'm not saying that because of like the mental health issues. Like that's one issue that happens with the character, you know.
But he's just overall an interesting character.
Yeah.
I think well, I think this is why I said the Egyptian thing. I was gonna make a joke about how he will have played an Egyptian character in 2 Marvel movies.
Oh, what was the other one?
Apocalypse, man.
Oh God, that's right. I totally forgot that he was
because he had no fucking identity as Apocalypse.
Oh my God, that's right.
There's a hilarious interview with him talking about playing Apocalypse, where he was like, "Yeah, I signed on to X-Men. I was thinking I would get to work with all these great actors, James McAvoy, Jennifer Lawrence, all these great like Bryan Singer, and then he said he couldn't move in the costume, So they essentially put him on like a they put him on like a dolly and rolled him out to where he had to be,
Oh
put
my
him in his
God.
stance, and then the costume is so hot that when he wasn't needed for a shot, they'd roll him into a tent and leave him alone.
Oh my God, that sounds awful. What kind of
Yeah.
experience is that?
He said he barely got a chance to interact with all the actors he admired and wanted to work with.
Oh, that fucking sucks, man.
It's insane to think of, but I'm down with it. I really hope they do what like recent Moon Knight runs have been doing, where it's the show don't tell of his identities coming through. Ooh, just hit the mic. Whoops. um, where like I think it's a smart way to play it, where if they're telling it from exclusively his perspective, they can do the whole thing of like each persona has a different look or like a slightly different outfit at any given time.
Yeah.
Where I remember in one of the recent runs, the example that comes to mind is that there was one where it's like the Moon Knight costume was in a traditional persona. There was another persona that was like the Moon Knight hood, but wearing like a suit. And there's another one where it was like the Moon Knight hood and wearing something else. Well, I think that'd be fascinating, and it would be a really interesting design and artistic point.
Well, I think
to represent that.
I feel like we might see that, because that. Listen, I remember when Moon Knight was a completely underused, unpopular fucking character, like coming out of the 90s, and that run that you're describing is really, in my opinion, where you started to see him become a more popular character again.
Yeah.
And from there, we've seen his involvement in things like the Avengers even like grow further in comics, which only is going to make him more featured and more give them more like leeway to do and freedom to do what they want with the character in terms of the show and go bigger if they want, I think. So yeah, I think we might see that. And I think we might see that, particularly some of those elements based on that run, because one of the visuals that stuck out was the all white suit with the fucking white mask with the little moon on it. And like there's that whole series of panels where he just goes to this warehouse and beats the fuck out of some criminals because they're holding like a little girl hostage, but he does it in this like sleek ass suit.
What wasn't that entire comic monochromatic too? So it just had like this really cool like noir-y punch to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like sorry, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think we'll see some of that in this show.
Yeah. We have a few minutes before we wrap up, but now I have a question to ask you. Now that it looks like Oscar Isaac is going to be playing Moon Knight, what characters do we want to see Shia LaBeouf and Keanu Reeves play in the future?
Well, that's a good question now.
Shia LaBeouf, Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, I would be into that.
Shia Surprise.
Shia Surprise, man. Mainly because I feel like he just fit the part, and he's kind of still young enough to not be like way older than Tom Holland, or way older looking than Tom Holland, let's say.
I'd be down for like if Tom Holland's still playing like a late teenage Spider-Man for like a Kraven that's like early mid 30s, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You just don't want like a 40-year-old Kraven beating up a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Even though that's what Vulture boiled down to.
I guess that's true. Yeah, that's a good casting. And shit, wait, who was the other one? Oh, Keanu Reeves.
Keanu.
Shit, dude, that's I don't know.
It's a difficult one.
Yeah, Dr. Doom.
Dude, that would be amazing for all the wrong reasons.
He doesn't have the range for Dr. Doom. I gotta be honest. I love Keanu, but Dr. Doom needs to be played by somebody who can like pull off Sinister as fuck. And dude, Keanu's too like, oh, he's too sweet at this point.
Dude, I don't know. Who would Keanu Reeves play?
That's a good question. I'm racking. I don't know, man.
I'm just gonna disclaimer. This is a joke in bad taste, but I was gonna say Black Panther.
Oh no,
that's very mean. Don't do that, Marvel.
I feel like I was reading this thing. I mean, like, and you know, not to take away from the question, but I feel like they're having a real issue trying to figure out what to do with that property now. Not to, not to talk like I'm not, I mean, Chadwick's passing is fucking like a crazy Chadwick surprise, Boseman, and like
he has inspired and started a movement among so many people.
Yeah, but
I think
not trying to take away from that, but
Yeah.
like it seems like they're including the cast, they're all just trying to like figure out like, well, what to really fucking do.
I think that's why
Because-
there was that thing coming out saying like Shuri's trying to replicate the heart-shaped herb.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
they're trying to write out T'Challa or find a way to pass the mantle respectfully.
Boom! I got your Keanu Reeves casting.
Who?
Namor the Submariner.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a Namor casting. It was the dude from Crazy Rich Asians. His name's Henry something.
Isn't he already in the MCU? He's an FBI agent.
What? No.
Are you talking about that guy? Is that
Dude. Wrong Asian guy, dude.
I've never seen Crazy Rich Asians. I thought you were talking about.
It's a great movie.
Who are you talking about, Ryan? Who are you talking about?
His name's. Let me find it quick. But I saw a fan casting and it looks great. Let me see here.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Who would Keanu play? Fuck me.
Ghost Rider, man.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, dude. Like, no joke. I saw that a while ago. I thought that was brilliant. Like John
Henry Golding.
Henry Golding.
Yeah, look him up.
I've never seen him in anything.
Henry Golding or the dude who plays Shredder in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
I have no idea who actually played. I only saw the first one. Well, no, I think I saw both of them.
Seriously, that guy, I want him to play Firelord Ozai in the Netflix Avatar movie.
Oh, shit.
He would be phenomenal. He's fucking yoked. He's huge, and he has the voice for it.
Damn. Well, I get who is it? I guess I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, look him up. I've seen him he's one of those actors you've seen all over the place, but you can't attach a name to. Like Paul Giamatti. For the longest time, I always knew who he was, but I could never attach a name to him.
He was in that movie about wine, right?
Yeah, he was Rhino.
Oh my god, dude! Even I forgot about that. That was I remember. Well, no, because I remember that casting, and I remember thinking like that.
What the fuck?
Well, no, I remember thinking that was such a fucking interesting creative casting because you're gonna have to do some sort of CGI or some sort of suit around him to cover up, make him the Rhino anyway. So it's like, why not? Paul Giamatti could be like this like weird character, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, I was actually one of the few things I'm down with in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is Rhino at the end. He looks fucking sick. And like, how else are you gonna do Rhino in live action?
Well, that's kind of what I thought. I was like, that was a really interesting way of pulling it off, actually.
Yeah, make it like a giant Iron Man suit that's a fucking Rhino tank. Like, I mean, why not?
Why the fuck not? The movie's not gonna have a sequel anyway.
They really thought it did.
They were going for it. Speaking of
Dane DeHaan ruined it.
Go out there and find us on Instagram.
There you go.
At Old Heart Radio and on Twitter at Old Heart in Space. I don't know what else we got.
Holy.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh my god! I almost forgot. We gotta keep doing it.
We'll throw Squarespace and Raid Shadow Legends in on the mix. We'll do an ad read. We'll do it.
Boom. We're trying to solicit here. Okay.
we'll get a show. We'll get a show going. We'll make money.
We'll make money one of these days.
Dude,
as long as
my goal for the next week to create an entire intro using the baseline, but making it like a late night show intro. We'll make it happen. Maybe next week's pressing it a bit. Next month.
Give me some time. Give
me some time. The loyal hot dogs will remember this bit.
They will. And if you don't pay up, they're gonna come for blood. Okay.
Jared's gonna dox me. He's gonna tell him where I live.
Fucking hot dogs. Either way, okay. You know it. I know it. This has been Matinee Edition, number 52.
Oh shit! I'll let one out.
I am Jared.
Lucas here.
And
whoop whoop.
Here. That jasmine tea really fucked with me this entire time.
Yeah,
it just a sour taste. All right. Anyway,
I can't imagine. It doesn't sound good.
It does not. But what does sound good, listeners, is you finding us on Instagram and Twitter, as we spoke earlier.
Handle Varn's face.
Yes. Goodbye.
Trinkoli.
Goodbye.